everyone, Daisy here with another video for SpiegelMom Scraps. This is for the National Scrapbooking or International Scrapbooking Day weekend, and this layout is for the Grab 5 that Pattern Happy is hosting. And the 5 things we had to use were pattern paper, flare, sequins, stamps, and a die cut. So I was just showing you there the things I pulled out. I have the Geofetti collection by Pattern Happy. Excuse me. I have a few different sequin mixes there that I'm not sure yet which ones I'm going to use. And I have the Crepe Paper Good Vibes stamp set. And I have a couple of die cuts. I have that die cut title you see over there, but that's not actually going to make it on. I do also have some die cut bows. You can see them disassembled over on the left of the layout there. So what I'm doing is I'm just making a grid layout. I was looking for something where I could use a lot of different papers, and so this is the way I chose to go. I'm just cutting different size squares. The big ones I think are 4x4. And the little ones are 2x2, I believe. Somehow my cuts get a little off, so they're not exact, but whatever. I just let it go. So I'm just kind of mixing them up here, and I am not using any pink papers, and that was on purpose. Yesterday for my challenge for SpiegelMom Scraps, I had a Scrap Your Scraps challenge up, and I used a lot of the pink papers, so I didn't want to run out for that project. So I'm just moving these around, trying to mix up the colors a little bit, make sure that the same patterns aren't next to each other. And I just keep messing around with these. So if you don't know, the challenges on the SpiegelMom Scraps Facebook group are open until May 31st. Each challenge has its own album in the group that you need to enter or put your entry into in order to be considered. So you definitely want to play along. There are some great prizes that are going to be given out, so you don't want to miss out on any of that. And you also don't want to miss out on any of the awesome inspiration that's been going up. The girls have really done an amazing job. So now I am done with the kind of background layout, so I'm trying to decide where I want to do like some clusters and everything, and how I want to do my stamping. So I decide to use these stamps as kind of journaling strips. So I'm going to stamp them on some white paper and then cut them apart into strips. And you can see that die cut on there. It actually says eat, sleep, be awesome, repeat. But on these pattern papers, it's really hard to read. So I had cut it out on some white cardstock, and I also cut it out on some foiled cardstock, and neither one of them are going to make it on because with the patterns in the background, it's really not readable. So my die cuts are the bows that I added on, and I cut those from a cut file that I got at the Silhouette store. I also have a flare badge from the Crafty Pocket, who's another sponsor, and I believe it says Fab. It's yellow and it says Fab. And so here what I've done is I've gone through and I've used some silver thread and I've stitched in between each of the squares just for a little added interest. And then I'm going to take the thread and wrap it around the center of each one of the bows just to get those silver pops in there. And then, yep, you can see, okay, so there's the flare badge over on the left-hand side. That is going to make it on. And then for my journaling strips, what I did is I took some little labels that I had and I stitched them onto each label, kind of offset so that they're not actually on the label, but attached to them, I guess. So I really like how that turned out. My photo I did back on a little bit of pattern paper. And then I'm just trying to decide what my title is going to be. And I'm going to go for these Vicki Boutin thickers, and my title is going to be Life is Good. And I really like how that brings more black up into that corner. And then I'm just going to work on my little clusters here. I decided to do some tangled thread behind my flare badge, and that's going to go down next to my journaling. I have one of those bows at the top of the photo and one next to the journaling, and then one's going to go by the title. And I'm just using some glue dots to adhere that down. I find that works the best. Making sure the thread's underneath it. And then I am going to pull out some of the sequins and kind of spread them around. And I think I use a few different mixes here. And I can't see the names of the mixes. Well, that's not very good. I use Rose Wine Explosion, Out of This World, and Modern Beehive. So the Modern Beehive has some yellow and some black and white polka dot sequins in it, and so I'm using those. I'm using some of the silver ones out of This World and some of the blue ones, and then the pink are from the Rose Wine Explosion. And I really love how this turned out. So like I said, if you haven't already, head on over to the Facebook group. It's 15 Minutes to Scrap with SpiegelMom Scraps, and join in the fun. You have until May 31st to enter your layouts. So I'll see you next time. Bye!